Okay, again, my question will be on defense and security. It's well known that Russia has indicated many times that it wants to train and exercise with our Philippine military. As a matter of fact, for the first time, it appointed a defense attaché at the Russian embassy here in Manila. This will, of course, require a status of forces agreement like what we have with the US and Australia. As our future chief executive, would you agree to a status of forces agreement with Russia?
Senator Marcos.
Well, yes, we would have to look into what the status of forces agreement actually entails to our two countries between Russia and the Philippines, for the simple reason that it is an entirely novel concept for our two countries together. However, again, if we can see that there's an advantage to the Philippines for that, but you see, this is part of the effort that you, Professor, mentioned, that the superpowers are carving out against their spheres of influence. And in the same way, as I spoke to you about the last question that concerned that, I do not think the spheres of influence model of the Cold War still applies. So we should be very wary of that. As a practical matter, if we are to train with all of those countries, then we could have a real logistical problem in our military, because the training is usually the beginnings of their hopefully supplying, or hopefully for the donor country, supplying us with military equipment. And so, yes, it is good perhaps that we see what the different doctrine, that I'm talking doctrine and military doctrines are. But I think we still have to decide at some point, and what they, as the engineers call it, we have to freeze the design of our military and say we have decided to go with these pieces of equipment and with this military doctrine. That's with those who we have trained with.
Senator Marcos, time's up.
Yeah, as an adjunct to your remarks, shouldn't we also abolish the AFP as it is configured presently? Because, you know, that was designed during the American occupation. Because we have new security interests, and therefore the doctrinal framework will also follow through. If you abolish the AFP, and as you have indicated, as four of you have indicated earlier, that it is really the sea which needs to be protected. And yet, you know, the bulk of your AFP consists of the army, which is running after insurgency, which is not its mandate, by the way. So shouldn't you be abolishing the AFP and putting a little bit more manpower and equipment on the Marines and the Navy?
Well,
as you have articulated earlier.
That is a question for our military planners and thinkers as to how which branch of the military should be beefed up, should be strengthened.
But you will be the potential commander-in-chief of the Republic.
Precisely.
So that decision will really be on your desk,
yes,
not on the AFP.
Yes, it will. And we will look at the situation at the time that these are being proposed. But again, we have to go back to the very practical matter of how our military operates. I cannot see how the Philippines will continue to exist if we do not have the AFP, and therefore the idea of abolishing the AFP might be a logical conclusion, but it is not a practical one.
Yeah, on a personal note, I wrote a paper on abolishing the AFP, and I'm sure I got so many enemies. But yes, if you're interested to read that paper, I can share it with you.
Yes, please, ma'am. I would be very, very interested.
Yes. As